Greetings, YouTube. I found myself thinking about the Wish spell recently. And one of the spell components for the Wish spell, this is the Pathfinder version. I don't remember what the 3.5 version differs in spell components, is a 25,000 gold piece diamond. So long as you're using a gold-based system. I always use silver, so it'll be 25,000 silver piece diamond. But let's be honest. A gold piece, or monetary price, we'll just say it to be a little more generic, is utterly subjective. Depending on market demands, what costs 25,000 units one year could cost 5,000 units the next. So prices vary a great deal. Heck, in the real world, gold prices vary from day to day, as do silver prices. I think silver prices vary a little less than gold prices. I think I saw today that gold was like $13.58 an ounce, which is quite a bit of money. Whereas silver was like $17.58, much less money. And it got me thinking, how does a spellcaster know that a particular diamond is going to function for the spell? Now, you could say, okay, it's a spellcraft check. And just that's a generic answer. You're just hand wavium is coming into play. That he just knows the vibe. Yeah, that one's going to work. But I think that's a little sleazy, maybe, and lacks a certain level of role-playing flavor and interest. I'd rather have people be a little more involved in the process. So I'm thinking, instead of pinning a monetary value to the gem, why don't we pin something which is a little more objective, which is carat size, and carat size is exact. So that's a very objective measurement. Whatever the measuring system in your world is, every gem is going to function within that measuring system. So even if it isn't a carat system, you get the point. And then you also do quality. Now, gem qualities are much more exact in our time period, but I can't imagine that in a world with dwarves and gnomes, and with there to be alchemical processes and, of course, magical processes, you could probably really pin down the quality of a gem quite accurately, maybe even better than we can here, because you could detect the intrinsic value or life force or what have you, or the feng shui of the gem itself in a fantasy setting. And I've never seen any setting for any system that had a spell component processing magic category of spells or mechanisms or mechanics. Nothing that you passed all of your components through on the way to creating something, whatever it was, a new spell, an item, a powerful casting of a spell, yada yada yada. So I think most systems kind of assume that this just happens, but I'm talking about really flavor here. Now, in the real world, in the past, one of the tests you would use on a diamond would be the water test. And I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase of something is of the first water. And what that means is, if you put the diamond into pure water, if it visually disappears, if there is no optical difference between pure water and the diamond, it is of the highest quality. It means whatever faults and flaws there are in the diamond are so small that the human eye cannot pick them up without magnification. So you're looking at a gem. You're not looking at a gem because it just disappears in the water. So that's the first water test. And lesser quality diamonds would be more visible. There are even colored diamonds. Some people don't know that. There are, like the Pink Panther movie was about a pink diamond. They do exist. They're not considered as valuable as clear ones, but they still do exist. And as a side note, don't ever buy diamonds, folks. They're way overblown. Real world carat prices would be about $40 a piece, I think, something like that. They're artificially inflated, and human lives are lost in their acquisition. Don't even buy artificial diamonds because they still drive up the diamond market. Go get yourself some other gems or some other artificial gems. There are wonderful ones in the world that have less blood dripping off of them. So let's say that you have a gem that is of a specific carat size. We're going to say 1 carat because that's a nice round number to play with. And it is of the first water. It is the best quality you can have. Okay, we're going to say that that is now worth 5,000 monetary units. So you would need a 5-carat version to cast that wish spell. Now you could also have a larger gem of lesser quality, still meet the criteria. So you could be a 10-carat diamond, but it's got inclusions and things that make it less valuable. So it in the real world it would still be only worth, or still worth, 25,000 monetary units, because that's a lot of monetary units regardless. There's no lesser here. It's just that one is going to be less desirable for jewelry and spellcasting than the other. But since the spell really doesn't seem to care a whole lot about size and quality, it's really about the monetary value. I'm just kind of quantify this whole process just for role-playing flavor. I realize the spell doesn't care as far as mechanics are concerned, and if you wanted to have a spellcraft check to pick up the gem, you go for it, or you just say he knows what they are. Because I don't imagine every spellcaster out there is also going to be a gemologist. That's very unlikely. But you're probably going to have some gnomes and dwarves and such. And is it goblins that are also really good with stone? Is that metal? They're always good with metal. But regardless, there'll be some groups that have more leanings towards stone than others. So they may well be gemologists and spellcasters at the same time. And especially if they're like an earth elemental vibe, like one of the kineticists maybe, or one of the Genesee, things like that, you might give them a vibe and be able to pick out good gems. Maybe an appraisal bonus or something like that. And again, the appraisal skill is great for pegging a monetary unit to something, but the monetary unit is subjective, and I'm trying to make an objective decision here. Yes, I'm being a pedant, but I'm good at it. Darn it. This is one of the ways I entertain myself when I'm doing things I don't necessarily want to be doing. I keep myself occupied with things like this for hours on end. That's where a lot of these videos come from. So be glad I'm a pendant. You appreciate it. You feast off my labors. Sort of, kind of. So that's kind of going to just objectify the process of picking a gem for spells. Now, there are other things that are really much easier. For example, things by weight, like a carat weight, but I mean like ounces and drams and things like that. And the quality of something is most definitely going to involve alchemy. You just paying like you need cinnamon of a certain quality, or you need aquavita of a certain quality, or the essence of fire in a certain quality, things like that. Fire salts from a viral elemental for all the Skyrim folks out there, or vampire dust, things like that. What is it? Ectoplasm dust or something like that? Ectoplasm is available too. It's a cool spell component. So there's lots of things that are more easy to peg because they can be tested in the fantasy version of science. Whereas gems, again, they're very subjective, so I'm kind of coming up with an objective version of this. And again, just for flavor purposes, for fun and profit, I guess. You want to cast a wish spell, let's have a little flavor. Let's enjoy it. It's a powerful spell. I think we should have something more than just a hand wave. You know what I mean? So have you ever done something like this? Do you think I've gone too far? Do you think my pedantic urges have taken me into the realm of the crazed? So let's discuss what we can do with gems and pegging their values and spellcasting and things like that. Do you think this adds flavor, or is it just an annoying encumbrance? Something that you would want to do like once and never have to worry about again? Okay, we've worked out the mechanism. We don't have to do it again. I could see that argument as well. But I think you might want to do it just once for fun, at least to get the idea down. This is what we do when we cast this spell. These are the steps that we go through. I think that makes things a little more enmeshed in a sense of reality. And is it verisimilitude, I think the word is I'm looking for? I'm not positive. I can never quite peg that word down. So let's talk about material components and how we value them and how we add them into a role-playing aspect for more flavor.